The last 12 months, all anyone's talked about is interest rates. Interest rates, bank loans, can you get debt? Can you not get debt? Can you buy a commercial property? And the answer is yes, you could buy a commercial property. Yes, you could get debt. And yes, the interest rates are a lot higher than they were in 2021 and 2022. And they're probably never going to go back to that rate in the foreseeable future. But more importantly, as a first-time buyer, can you get a loan? And the answer is yes, you could get a loan too. Everybody has to be the first time one time before you're a multi-time investor. So with that said, when you're buying your first property, a good comfort zone for you to know is about 30% down. You have to come up with 30% down. And the truth is, I don't really care where you get the 30% from. When I bought my first property, I literally went out and applied for credit cards because I didn't think I was going to have enough money and I was going to take cash advance loans, even if they were probably 20% interest or whatever the hell they were, just so I could close my deal. That's what it takes sometimes to close your first deal. But rule of thumb is, about 30% down is what you're going to need on your first deal. The second issue is, right now, rates on commercial properties on a fixed 5-year loan are about 7%, maybe a little more, a little less, depending on how active the bank is that's going to give you debt. But if you're willing to pay about 7%, put about 30% down, and you have decent credit, banks will work with you guys on your first-time loans. Don't be reluctant to go to them. Now, the ones who always back up the banks is if you can't get the bank loan, look for seller financing on a deal. Sellers will finance it. There's a lot of sellers who just don't want to own it, but they're happy holding a note. And if you put some money down, ask the sellers for seller financing because they'll do it sometimes. And one of your third options out there is, which I really don't love, but it is available, and if you need it, you need it. I've used it too, is hard equity lending. Hard equity means you're going to pay, 12, 13, 14%, but it'll let you close quick. So if you have a deal and the bank doesn't want to finance it because it's vacant or it needs a lot of repairs or your credit's not that great, you could get in the game, and these loans could be anywhere from 6 months to usually about 2 years. Give a 1-year time frame. So even if you got to pay an extra 5, 6, 7% of interest, it gets you in the game. And we all know once you're in the game, it's easier to stay in the game. So you got to do whatever it takes to get in the game. Don't worry about how much money you're going to make on the first deal. Worry about becoming a player. Worry about owning that first property. Because I promise you, I know for my first property, the first one is the hardest. The second's a little hard. After that, it becomes routine. So by any means necessary, get your down payment, get your credit in line, get a lender on board, and get a property.